All right, everyone. Welcome back again to another wonderful episode of A Green Room. I'm your host, Aima, and we're going to be having a different show today. We have a panel discussion today. We're going to be talking on holy hip hop. So we're just kind of going to just run through it, just wherever the discussion takes us for the most part. So my special guest today, you're all familiar with Juma. He's been here on the show before. Welcome back, Juma.
Thank you.
He's kind of in his own world there. And we got DJ Lady Grace, first time in the green room. So we welcome you.
Yeah, thank you for coming through to the green room.
Absolutely. You need to come by here more often.
All right.
We need more sisters in the house.
Yeah,
we love the brothers, but we also need the sisters in here too. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about holy hip hop today.
Okay.
Just, we can branch out of that a little bit here and there, but for the most part, we're just going to run through on that topic as a whole.
Okay.
So as a quick, just to get us quick and dirty into it, what's your whole overall impression of the state of holy hip hop as it is right now, right here today?
It definitely has progressed since it first started over 20 years ago. When it first started, it was more just about people who just wanted to rap for God. You know, they had a passion for God, just wanted to communicate that through rap. Whereas now it's a movement. A huge movement, internationally. I think the church for the longest time was trying to suppress it, but this was God's will and plan, so they could only go so far.
We can get into that. Okay.
And so now you have, like, for example, Lecrae now, who's #1 on billboards, beat out, I think it was Marvin Sapp.
Wow.
On the gospel side. So it's a movement, and I think just with the whole gospel music industry and it has issues too. You have a lot of, with this popularity also came a lot of wolves in sheep clothing.
Okay.
People who couldn't make it in the secular and now rapping Christian because
that's
they feel
right.
they have
that's a big thing.
more of an opportunity
that's
to be
a big thing.
A Christian entertainer now and want to be seen and whatnot. So
okay, well, you've touched on a lot of it. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into all of that. What about you, Juma? What do you think about it?
I believe, I believe it's grown. I believe there's still a lot more growing to do. We've definitely progressed and definitely have come a long way since Michael Peace and you know what I'm saying, all the and even DC Talk when they started out rapping. You know what I'm saying? So we've definitely come a long way. I just think that there needs to be a refocusing.
Okay.
Or a focus in general. I think with that progression, just to piggyback on what Lady Grace was saying, there's definitely, other influences have crept in. And my thing is, and let me take it back, because I'm not sure if it's other influences that have crept in or other influences that have surfaced due to the popularity.
Okay.
It's because, I mean, with fame, I mean, there's somebody said, I don't know who said it, but somebody said, if, something's in you that's dormant, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Fame is a sure catalyst to surface it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's definitely some things that have, arisen or crept in, either or, you know what I'm saying, that have, that can definitely prove to be the demise of holy hip hop, Christian rap, etc. If, they go unchecked.
Okay.
So I think, if Christian artists and rappers as a collective, can agree on, a certain set of issues and come together and you know what I'm saying, and produce a formidable effort, you know what I'm saying, these things can be done.
So what role do you think, you mentioned, you hinted at the church there, what role do you think they've played so far? Have they really been, a good support system to lead us to where we are right now, or we've just kind of gotten, or the artists of the one that they've pushed it up there all by themselves?
When I first started, when I first started, for me, I'm a DJ, for those you don't know, but for me it was more of a calling. I definitely never saw any of this coming that I'm doing now. I never, at any point in my childhood, ever said I wanted to be a DJ or I didn't even grow up with hip hop. So, let me kind of give you my intro. Kind of breaks it down. Like when I first started, we didn't have the church support. I didn't know any Christian hip hop artists. I went to a cross movement concert, just saw how God was moving through using Christian hip hop, and I knew that method of reaching people with the gospel had to get done, had to be out.
Okay.
So literally the very next day, I was a student at Northeastern at the time. I learned how to produce concerts, joined what's called CUP, the Council of University Programs.
Okay.
From my next step there was like, okay, I know how to do a concert if I want to do one. My next step was to get on radio. I wasn't waiting for anybody to give me any handouts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is my conviction. This is what
Get
I had
out
to
and
do.
work for it.
And because I just was obedient, stepped out in faith and followed what God was leading me to do, He provided everything.
That's right. That's right.
So
I remember that Northeastern radio
Northeastern,
show.
man, WRBB. It was called Soul. It was my radio show. And literally, every time that I look up, I knew the cross movement. So just checking out their website and just seeing what other music and stuff was out there, getting connected with different individuals through their movement.
Right.
I remember they did a show in Rhode Island that I went down to, and Corey Red and Precise were there.
Okay.
So I connected with them, but it became more than just getting to know different Christian artists to spin. It actually became relational because we were all having the same problem across the board with the lack of church support.
Okay.
So what started happening was I would find out about a Christian hip hop concert going on. Most of the time it was in the tri-state, like either New York, Jersey, or Philly. Okay. I would drive down there, and what started happening, we started seeing the same faces over and over. Really, and you recognize God was doing something. So we started connecting more outside the concerts, in each other's homes.
That's always important.
Yeah, building with each other on holidays, the kids' birthdays. And so we started bartering. Some people within this circle were rappers, producers, graphic designers, clothing designers, Christian comedians. And you're talking about probably for like a good 5 years. Every weekend we were almost all together.
Wow.
Swapping services. We can't wait for the church to kind of catch on to what's going on.
All right.
And but these people today, you now know as the truth, the frontliners. I mean, Todd Banks, more people who are in your front line. But although none of us at that time knew that God was preparing us and sharpening us and preparing us for something greater. Right. So, and I think once the popularity started catching on, then the church started changing their mind. It really had nothing to do with, unfortunately, with a salvation thing or reaching souls.
Gotcha.
It was, I hate to say that, but it's the truth, you know what I mean? So a lot of churches that had initially rejected us are now the ones bringing us in.
They're now starting to open their arms up to you.
So, I mean,
so is there a kind of, you feel vindicated in a way?
I don't feel bitterness. It is what it is, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I think some of them really recognize now that what they did was wrong.
It was a mistake.
I mean, we're not going to beat them over the heads for it.
Okay.
But
what about you, Juma? What was your general feeling on it? Like, have you seen, in your experience, what role has the church played?
In my experience, when I first started out, I was in a group with my brother, and we were Christians, and we were doing, what we would call Christian rap. You know what I'm saying? And we really. We really didn't have any. We didn't have that sort of consciousness that said, "Hey, you can, do this in a church or anything like that." You know what I'm saying? We never even considered
thought
church.
Of it? Okay.
Once we thought of it, we tried it out. We got turned away a couple places, so it was just like, we was just doing it as, any other, regular artist, would do it, and so. I think the church in the beginning, we were sort of angry, you know what I'm saying? But that anger kind of, it kind of worked out to be something, or I'd say God worked it out to be something, beautiful in the sense that we got to go in a lot of, in a lot of regular clubs and secular venues and bring this light. And I mean, I've actually seen, this stuff, really like change an atmosphere in a room, and I'm like, God's power is real.
Yeah, that's right.
So the church in that light kind of encouraged that experience, and in the church's initial rejection to what we were doing, a lot of people got blessed, and a lot of people got to
God turned it around and used it for good.
Definitely.
Wow. Definitely. That's something that's so great and wonderful about God, in that in our weaknesses, He takes that and uses that for something amazing. So to hear that, the way God has worked through this is really something to behold. So what about the role of the artists? You had mentioned that a lot of stuff has crept into or has surfaced, in holy hip hop. So what are the things that immediately jump out to you when you raise that point?
As far as just the type of things I think pride now has a lot to do with the demise of Christian hip hop, holy hip hop.
You agree with that, Juma? Yeah. He's like, he's nodding right away.
Yeah, pride. It's almost like, oh Lord, look what I did. It's almost at one point when you were first starting and you didn't have the support of everybody, you were real humble because you were dependent on God.
That's right.
But now that you got, you know, all this popularity and everybody's sweating you, you know, pride begins to really creep in.
Okay.
And it's basically similar to the pride that Satan had before the fall.
Right.
Oh, I'm great and look at me. And now you think you're better than God. The same way that Satan fall, they're gonna fall, you know. And so now what I see is that even their message changes a little bit. Okay. If you look at some Christian artists who've been in the game for a long time, listen to their first album compared to their current album, the message, you know, their vibe has changed. Yeah,
okay.
It's more, I mean, you got Christian artists now talking about bling bling and you know, and everything else that rims. Hear a lot of it actually. I can think of a certain award show that goes on annually. Okay. I'm not going to mention by name.
We're gonna go into. we got to get down and dirty. That's if you want it. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call them out.
Okay.
But you go in there, it's like I can't even go there no more. Yeah. It would have to make business sense for me. I mean, it's a good place to network. If you got a business reason to go there, then you should go. Okay. But other than that, man, it enrages me.
We're gonna get back into that because I would really like to. I would really like to go a little bit more into that. I know Juma's probably got some he wants to contribute to that as well. But just hold that thought for a second. So I know y'all watching at home. We're going to be right back. We're going to go to this quick break. Y'all just stay tuned, and we'll be right back with more.